I need to ask you guys permission for something.
Yes, you can fart.
No. I don't fart in front of people unless it's on accident.
Hey, me neither.
Right? Really? What if it's like friends?
The only person
Would you not fart in front of the D&D group?
Taylor, yes, I do.
But the rest of us, I wouldn't mind. I think it'd be funny.
I don't know. I don't know if I would.
Yeah,
Taylor, I do because
it's
I
funny.
love it so much.
Farts are funny, man.
This is Twin Stick Radio, episode.
We're starting.
Oh man,
This is Twin Stick Radio, episode 63 for the week of April 4th. Wow, I'm 2 months behind.
Yikes.
April 4th, 2019. I'm one of your hosts, Trey Higgins, and I'm joined by Chris Rodriguez.
You didn't even ask Everett if we were ready.
He said yes.
Oh, okay.
Justin asked him. He said yes. I
Yeah.
was there. I picked up on it.
yeah, it's called a cold opening. You just go.
That other voice you hear is Justin T. Lopez.
Man, February.
February.
You were a ways back.
Man, I feel like this semester, because now my life is split into semesters and not real time anymore. I feel like this semester is going by fast and slow at the same time. Like, I can't believe it's already April, but also I'm ready for it to be May.
Right, like every day sucks.
How would I split my life into sections? Awake time and not awake time?
You say awake? Like
Yeah.
with the time that you're
Well,
awake?
that's
Yeah.
basically 24 hours. So
Yeah,
that's
time
a day.
that I'm awake, time that I'm asleep.
Jesus, you
Because
are.
he's like in semesters.
I don't think you do, because when I was out of school, like, I didn't think about my life. And
Yeah.
chunks.
Okay.
That's
But what
true.
about you? Do you do Monday through Friday the work week and then the weekend?
Yes, very much.
So you're the normal like 9 to 5, or you split your life into weekdays, weekends.
Yeah, it's weird though because now I'm at an age where I have a lot of friends that are still in college, like some of my younger friends.
Sure.
So they'll talk to me and they'll be like, "Oh, are you doing anything for spring break?" And it's like, I don't get a spring break. Like
Yeah.
that's not a thing.
Yeah.
Or like summer vacation, like the season has no effect on your
Sure.
work.
You know, the other way I used to categorize my life, because my birthday is in June, so that's right in the middle of the year. So I used to do
summer
before my
birthdays.
birthday and after my birthday.
Interesting.
Oh.
Wonder how. I don't know. I guess I might do it by projects. What I'm doing at the time. Like right now, we're in the project of of remodeling the house.
How's that going?
Good. Yeah, as of today, it's pretty much empty. Like emptied, ready to be cleaned, painted, and floors laid. So I'd say we're maybe a month, maybe 2 months from moving in.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
He has an awesome picture of
I do.
the
You guys
nerd
can see it.
room.
Oh, the nerd room, the
yeah.
room that'll be
the soon-to-be dungeon, if anything.
I'm so excited.
It's actually like the perfect room for it.
This is the den.
And this is the room
Just like looking at it, it looks
This
like
is the
a
room where
place-
we'll be playing D&D on Sunday nights and stuff.
whenever we're. Oh my goodness!
Isn't it? Like, isn't it just perfect for
the
that?
exposed brick?
Yeah.
I told him we should get like a mounted troll skull and put it above the fireplace.
Dude, I'm here for it. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's number one, we're super excited. Trey was like, "Hey, so what's next?" It's like, well, once we're in, the next big thing that's
Dog.
going to cost a lot of money. No, like money wise, is getting the pool ready. Like,
Pool?
yeah, we have a like a 10 by 20, 4 to 6 foot deep pool on the property as well.
Man.
It's been covered for like 20 years though, so it's literally an ecosystem in itself. But we're gonna get it cleaned and get it flushed out and do all the things you need to do to get it ready. So,
We can do a pool episode of Homebrew.
well, the idea is by next year, WrestleMania time is when we have like our big like WrestleMania party, and we all just hang out at the pool all day and watch WrestleMania at 9 and whatever. So
RKO people into the
yeah,
pool.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Which is why I need insurance, Trey. Because just
Exactly.
wants to RKO
We
people into the
figured it
fucking
out.
pool.
He's basically a strange kid wandering into your yard.
That's fair.
If you guys haven't listened to us before, we are a podcast about video games. We record weekly, and we're usually up by Friday. Is that still possible, Ev? Friday? That's a thing. That can be a thing.
Yeah,
right?
he ended up. Yeah.
No, I know. I just realized that like it was easier to hit that Friday mark when we recorded on Wednesday.
Tuesday.
Because Tuesday.
He's already forgotten
Tuesday.
when we recorded.
Oh. No, we didn't hit the Friday mark. We hit the Wednesday mark. I just hit the Friday mark.
I think we usually get the text. It's like file on drive like Friday afternoon.
And then
Yeah.
usually
Like
like
next
Sunday
day.
night
Yeah,
when
you
work is
actually
over,
do
I'm
it.
like, there you go.
I'll text Trey
so
like a
by
month
next
later.
week.
usually before Monday. And we are going to start the show off with the news. No quick saves this week. Actually, like for as much that happened this week, there wasn't a lot of news items.
Your division stuff's not even on here. There's not. They put out a trailer today and it looks badass. But that's all.
You know what else is not on here?
The new tier came out today, right?
No, that comes out on Friday. Tomorrow. I'm very excited for this.
So Wall Street Journal Live posted an interview with George R.R. Martin. And they were talking about video games. And George R.R. Martin said that video games are not an art form yet.
Ouch.
Yeah.
How dare he?
It wasn't like that aggressive.
No,
the title of the video was George R.R. Martin says video games aren't art. And I was like, what? And then I like watched the video and he's like, oh, they're not art yet, but they will be one day. And then as he's like talking about video games, I'm like, oh no, you actually you haven't played a video game in 30 years.
I was
like, Pong.
He's just an old man that hasn't experienced Ori and the Blind Forest or Undertale or something like that.
He did say something though, like he was like, I got really into video games for a little while, and he's like, but I realized that I was heavily addicted to them, and they weren't good for me.
Like, George, Final Fantasy 14 is not something to base your video game knowledge off of.
Chocobo Racing.
Yeah, Chocobo Racing. Or WoW. I feel like George R. R. Martin would got addicted to WoW.
What if his video game addiction is why he started writing? He was like, oh, I need to stop this. Let me go write.
I don't feel like you could be playing video games in the modern era and make a reasonable argument for video games not being art.
When did Game of Thrones come out? When was that first book?
It was a long time
98?
Okay. So,
Was it
I think it was
before
before
98?
that.
I was like 95.
95. I think it was mid to late 90s.
Book.
I don't know. Maybe
I'm with Ev. I think it's 80s.
Book 1 release date?
Yeah.
80s. No, 1996.
Oh.
So.
Dang it, Ev.
So right around.
Wow.
When did WoW come out? 2001? 2004, yeah.
Really? Wow.
You're right. Halo did come out in 2001.
So yeah, I mean, if he was writing the books for a while, he really didn't get to play
Halo
games.
came out in 2001.
That was 18 years ago.
That means KOTOR 1 came out a year after that. Because I remember, I think it's 2002. I remember I was playing a show. I was like 18 years old, and I'm playing this show, and a buddy of mine, we're there getting set up, and a buddy of mine runs in. This is before I really like followed release dates and stuff like that. This is the midpoint of your life. Yeah, sure, midpoint of my life. This is my buddy runs into the venue, and he's like, KOTOR is out. It's like, what? He's like, it came out today. And it was a Friday. I remember it being a Friday. And I like pulled out my wallet and like just dumped money at who's like, go get me a copy. And he goes and he comes back to the venue like at 10 o'clock at night. So I literally have a copy of KOTOR. There might be a picture. I have a copy of KOTOR sealed sitting on my amp in the middle of this freaking show.
That is awesome.
Yeah, no, there might be a picture out there somewhere of that.
I like that a release date could be just a surprise. Like, it's out.
Yeah, this is
it's like a Willy Wonka thing. Like,
sure.
I got it.
Sure. This is before I was probably 18, 19, something like that in 2002. So this is before I was
You're so old.
I was following video games like hardcore like we do now.
I think like after 5 or 6, there has never been a point in my life where I haven't known the release date for a game I was excited for.
5 or 6 years old.
5 like I think like the last time I can remember like being surprised about like a game coming out is when I got my Game Boy and Pokemon Silver for Christmas.
But let's not forget, 5 or 6 would also be around the same time as this story here.
Yeah, but when I was 5 or 6, I was
that would have happened.
If he's saying in
3 years later.
2001, I mean,
He's 10 years older
2002.
than me.
Oh. This is when KOTOR came out.
Okay.
Yeah. That's amazing. 5 or 6, I was obsessed with what my next X-Men figure was going to be. And I had no clue when they were going to come out. I just remember going to Walmart and my parents would be like, you can
what
have
year
one
was
thing.
it when you were 5 or 6?
1996. Nope, just kidding. 1983. So 7 years old. 1990, 1989, 1990. I was 5 or 6 years old, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
it's like a different world.
No, I mean, I remember. So I
think you're obsessed.
We didn't. It's been a whole life thing. Like last week, I was
Fast forward
talking
to
about
him starting a gaming
yeah,
podcast.
exactly.
Last week, I was talking about how
sense.
I'm gonna how I would stop playing video games, and realistically, I'm never gonna stop because like it's always been there.
Yep.
But I just remember us pre-ordering Halo 2. And I remember us going to pick it up for the midnight launch.
I remember that.
Getting
as
the
well.
steelbook and
2004.
Yep. I got home and it came with a bonus DVD, and I couldn't play the game because it was too late. But I put the bonus DVD in the little like crappy DVD player that I had in my room, and I just sat there and watched it.
I remember getting
good
Halo
memory.
2 at midnight because that's when GameStop did like cool midnight shit.
Yeah.
That's also back
People
when
would wait
you
in
had to
line.
pre-order games.
Sure, yes.
Because we pre-ordered
Yes.
Halo 2, and I remember a bunch of my friends couldn't get it for like 2 weeks.
I pre-ordered it. Derek, Preston, and Jacob pre-ordered it. The four of us pre-ordered that game, and we got it at midnight at the local GameStop here in New Braunfels. Was it that GameStop, or was it somewhere else? It might have been our local GameStop. I don't remember if it was there or if it was somewhere else. But we got it and went back to Preston's house, and his parents were pretty well off. They were like big time $1 million house realtors, so they had a really nice house, and so we had set up screens. And we put 4 screens around their living room. And mind you, this living room was probably like 50 by 50 with like 30-foot ceilings. I'm not kidding.
Wow.
There was a super nice house. And so we set up the screens and projected them because they were rich and they had this shit. And we ordered the 4 things. And I just remember sitting at 1 o'clock in the morning. We're probably eating Jack in the Box because Jacob worked there and we could get free tacos. So we're all sitting there.
Also, it was like the only place open.
Sure,
that way.
yeah. So we're all sitting in Preston's house. We turn on all the Xboxes, hooked up LAN, put it in, and and it comes on, and all of a sudden it's like just rocking guitar, and we're like, this is the greatest game ever. Didn't even play the story, went straight into multiplayer and just beat the shit out of each other.
Those were the best nights.
4 or 5 hours that night. Went to bed, woke up the next day at 12 o'clock and played Halo all day long.
Yeah.
That was
Those were the days. Simpler times.
Yeah.
That's
simpler
something I
times.
miss. Like that's talking about people getting old. Like as my dad gets older, like his ability to like play on electronic devices, and then like sleep peacefully has deteriorated. And so like we don't play video games together anymore. But I
Maybe
miss
that's
that.
why I don't sleep.
That's probably. I mean, I know that's why I don't sleep.
Interesting. If I did not play video games for an entire week, I wonder if I would sleep better.
I don't think it's not playing video games. I think it's like
like electronic shit.
I think it's like getting
the
off
light,
your shit
right?
like an hour or
okay.
2 before you decide to go to bed.
Okay, I understand that. I thought you were going to go the route of my dad doesn't know how to use electronics anymore, which is true. My father keeps his phone in a koozie. He like has a phone just like this, and he keeps it inside of a koozie.
Is that like his phone case?
Yeah, it's his phone case.
I did that on my last phone for a while because I couldn't find a case.
Yeah, like an actual koozie. And
don't
his
even like this case,
and his
to be
reasoning
honest.
is he's like, well, now if I have a beer, I have a koozie. Very good.
Your dad's a
Thanks.
smart
that's
man.
Very, very
Next
good.
level.
Thanks, Dad. Thanks for the pro tip.
First up on the news, the Call of Duty Endowment has announced that it has helped over 54,000 veterans find high-quality careers, with 10,686 veterans being placed into well-paying jobs in 2018 alone. Since it began its operation in 2009, the Call of Duty Endowment has been focused in its mission to help find veterans high-quality careers by quote, supporting groups that prepare them for the job market, end quote. The endowment helped 11 organizations, awarding over $5.2 million in 2018 grants and $36 million in grants since 2009. While 50,000 veterans placed by the endowment is a huge milestone, it is only the beginning for the organization that hopes to place a total of 100,000 veterans in high-quality jobs by 2024. Hey, if that's a good thing that comes out of Call of Duty, I'm down.
Sure.
That's pretty cool. It's a good cause.
Whatever happened to the Call of Duty cinematic universe?
Was that a thing?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
It got replaced by the Assassin's Creed Cinematic Universe.
I welcome
Short-lived.
it. I welcome it. I really like that movie. I thought it was cool.
I think
Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, I thought it was neat. I liked it, but again,
But you also really like Assassin's Creed.
I love Assassin's Creed. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the least exciting news on there. But I put it on there because, like,
It's good.
I grew up as an Air Force kid, so
Yeah.
like knowing that there's an organization or like that video games are helping veterans is nice, wholesome news for me.
It's nice seeing wholesome news every now and then.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that yesterday. I was like, man, like sometimes like people just being shit on the internet just really gets me down.
Not sometimes.
All the time.
Always.
All the
Yeah.
time.
There is nothing. I mean, nothing can be announced without somebody shitting on it.
Right.
Somebody's mad at the Borderlands trailer for not being Borderlandsy enough. Somebody's mad at it being an Epic Store exclusive when it doesn't make a damn bit of difference.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's actually what got me thinking about it.
Because
Why
it's
do you have
just
to put that on here.
Because it's just another fucking storefront.
Right.
Nobody complains that they have to buy Mass Effect on Origin. Nobody complains that they have to buy Assassin's Creed on Ubi. It's like, whatever.
Right.
It's just so fucking dumb.
So it's nice to see good things happening in the world.
It's very nice to see good. However, somebody's probably complaining about that.
Right. Like they're looking at this and it's like,
yeah, that's what
only
was the money?
only
How much
10,000
money?
had well-paying jobs.
That was $5.2 million. It could have gone to Greenpeace. Oh my god!
I feel like veterans is the one thing that no one can like reasonably argue against.
Sure, you would think so.
You would
right?
think.
Yeah, they're or to the wall.
Borderlands 3 will officially release on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC on the Epic Games Store. I did put it in there. On September 13th, 2019. And 4 different versions of the game have been revealed, including the $250 Diamond Loot Chest Collector's Edition. The announcement also details the new Vault Hunters, Mose?
Mose, yeah.
Mose the Gunner, who uses a mech to help her out. Amara the Siren, who uses her powers as a brawler. Yes. Flack the Beastmaster, and Zane the Operative, who appears to have stealth abilities. These new Vault Hunters will be facing off against the Calypso twins, who are, quote, uniting the bandit clans and claiming the galaxy's ultimate power, end quote.
So this is the time where Chris announces his Patreon to get $250.
Nope, 1 hour. Had it. 1 hour. It was 1 hour after launch, and I couldn't get it anywhere. Amazon, 2K Store, GameStop. I even called Target to see if they could pre-order shit. 1 hour.
I feel like...
I have it. I was ready for it.
You were ready to drop $250?
I was ready for it.
Man.
1 hour. Because we're in a different time zone than the fucking... announcements happen like at 9 a.m. We're an hour afterwards. Gone. 1 hour. 1 fucking hour. I was ready, dude. It comes with like a freaking Sanctuary 3 diorama, I guess, and then figurines of like the Borderlands figures. I was ready.
Right.
Nothing.
It's stupid.
It is stupid. I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it.
I dislike whenever games are so far out from releasing, and yet these things are so limited in quantity. It's like...
just make fucking more.
I know that you guys can make more. Do you not want more money? And I know, but whenever it releases or like the week after, it's going to be like Xbox and PlayStation are going to be giving these things away if you retweet this tweet.
Sure, of course.
You know?
So fair. Obviously, like as someone who does not collect collector's editions, I will go ahead and put this out there that like this problem does not affect me, and so me having my opinion is me having my opinion at no detriment to myself. However, one thing as someone who worked at GameStop. When there are companies that release too much of a collector's edition, it sits in store shelves and it devalues every other collector's edition out there.
Sure.
So I would rather have a limited quantity because that means that the thing is actually special than to be into it, buy it, and then have it worth $10 in 5 years because there's still thousands of them sitting on shelves.
As a collector, I would much rather have it be worth $10 and be happy that I have it.
Well, it's just weird. Like I've always wondered why they don't basically do like a sign-up sheet, like. Don't make them yet. And maybe this is a really simplified way of how things work. Don't make it yet. Have people pay for the amount that they're basically like a Kickstarter.
Yeah, sure.
Pay for the amount.
You basically order it.
Yes.
I mean, you order it and it's made to order.
Like any other product, actually.
Yeah, you pre-order it and they just make it.
Because that's the thing. Because even if say you're doing this to make it more valuable, you know, a collectible item has to be limited in quantity so that way it becomes more valuable.
Sure.
But they're not making money off of people reselling it.
Of course they're not. Oh,
so they're missing out on money from people who would buy it.
I also checked eBay and could have got one on eBay for $700.
And that's not money that they're getting.
It is not.
That makes no sense.
I don't know. I don't get it either. But like I said, I would rather get one and be it worth $10 just so I can have it. Mm-hmm. However, I say all that, and it's like every collector's edition I've ever wanted and missed, I got.
Yeah, but
because at some point in time we find it in the wild or it's come available again or whatever it is. The only thing that hasn't happened with, at least around here, is a Kingdom Hearts PS4. However, I saw on Reddit that a few Kingdom Hearts PS4s have been found in the wild across America.
But also...
so I could have ordered one, but you know.
But also, like the things that are always in a collector's edition, for the most part, I would say that the Borderlands ones being the exception because I've never seen the shit they release like separately.
Yeah.
But like... talking about the Fallout collections, they usually release it in a higher quality format for a lot cheaper.
Sure, yeah.
later. Like you can get a really nice Pip-Boy right now. I think it's the one from Fallout 76.
It's like $100.
It's like $100, and it looks fucking cool, and you can build it yourself.
Sure.
So, a last step on our main. Actually, let's skip to rumor mill. Real fast.
Who's your main? Are you gonna play Borderlands at all? Why am I even asking?
No,
you?
I probably am gonna.
You said you were gonna. You said you were gonna get Division.
Yeah, but
I'm
like
still
it
gonna
came
get
out so
Division.
it came out so soon around Anthem.
I think like Zane. Or
I just
Flag,
jumped on the wrong one. Like if I would have waited for Division, I think I would be so happy with Division.
I haven't decided yet. Zane or Flag. It's gonna be one of those two.
I'll probably play whatever one you don't play.
Fair enough.
I like Amara. Amara or
I'm
Flak.
leaning on either one of those two. And I don't play chicks in video games. Sorry.
Yikes.
It's not a sexist thing. I just want to play as someone I'm attracted to. Nothing wrong with that. Skipping to rumor mill real fast. According to the capabilities section of the Microsoft Store page, Borderlands 3 will feature cross-play co-op. IGN reached out for comment from 2K Games, and the publisher responded, quote, crossplay is something we're looking at closely, but don't have anything to confirm or announce at this time.
Yeah, they took it down to this morning.
Oh, did they?
It's not on that site anymore. We were talking about it earlier. It's not up there anymore. So they took it down, but fucking hey, man, that'd be badass. Epic's that's one good thing about
be able to play a game with Taylor for once.
That's one good thing about the Epic Store is they're ready for that.
Yeah,
they're ready for the cross-platform thing where Steam is not. I mean, you probably can, but Epic's like set up to be able to play
Fortnite already does it, right? Like,
right, but it's on the Epic Store, not on Steam.
If I were Epic, I would be throwing a shit ton of money at crossplay.
Sure,
because I get the problems of the Epic Store. I think the Epic Store, regardless of the things that it does badly, I think it's a better storefront than Steam, and I think it's a better place to release your games as a developer because Steam literally puts any game on it and it destroys and waters down everything else. But Epic is in a place where they can, like, they still need to build their own social network like Steam has. They still need to figure out how people communicate on the platform, and it seems like if you can be the platform that is able to communicate between all consoles,
sure,
that just seems like a big step up, and it also seems like a really good place to start building your community around.
For sure. 100%. I mean, that's how they would basically corner the market on that end. Because right now, games that are being sold on the Epic Store aren't any cheaper than they would be on Steam. They're all AAA titles at $59.99. So it's like, I mean, does it suck whenever games come out on Epic? No, but does the internet think it does? Yes.
Sure.
Because we have to download it and it's another launcher. It's like, okay, is it more inconvenient? Sure, maybe.
I mean, it's also,
but it doesn't. But like competition wise, like it doesn't do anything. If they're not selling things at a cheaper price, it's not. There's no difference.
I mean, also,
if they can corner it with crossplay, then that'd be like their thing.
Going back to the Epic conflict again, because I get it. I get why people are frustrated, but I also feel like
I don't.
Steam has such a monopoly on the market that they don't even have to
try
or think up creative ways to award developers for putting games on their platforms.
Yep.
And as much as, again, I get the problems with Epic, and I'm not saying the Epic Store is better, but I will always side with the person that's forking money at developers to get their shit on their platform.
That's also making a platform that is better for gamers.
Yeah. I know it's not perfect. I know it's a CD company, but this argument just makes me tired because I'm like, the only reason why you guys are mad is because you're ingrained on one platform.
Exactly.
And that's a fine reason to be mad, but let's not pretend like Epic is the worst thing that's ever happened. In fact, it's probably the best thing to happen to PC games because maybe Steam will get their shit together and start treating developers more fairly and stop letting every average Joe put their shitty fucking asset flip game on their fucking store.
Well, that's what people have to remember is that competition is important in order to get a better product in the end for yourself.
Yep.
There's
a reason why Steam still looks like it was like a fucking... It uses a UI that looks like it's from the 90s.
I hate Steam's UI, to be completely honest.
I do too. It's ugly.
It's not that it's ugly. I don't like the function of it.
That too, but it's also
don't
ugly.
like it. It's like up there with the fucking tabs of Xbox. The original 360, the what are they called? The flaps, the folders? No, what do they call those, Ev? The tabs.
Blades.
The blades, thank you. Man, I hated the blades. Hated that fucking UI.
Last up on our main news segment, and then we have one more in the rumor mill. Bethesda has confirmed that it will not be discussing either the Elder Scrolls 6 or Starfield at E3 2019.
Oh my God, you're kidding me.
During the Bethesda Game Days stream at PAX East 2019, Todd Howard cautioned fans hoping for more details on the two most anticipated games in the industry that they would need to wait a little bit longer. However, there was some good news for fans who have been petitioning for Shirley Skyrim Grandma Curry to be immortalized in The Elder Scrolls 6 as a video in honor of the 25th anniversary of the Elder Scrolls series confirmed her existence in the upcoming title. Shirley even tweeted out her visit to the studio with Todd Howard alongside the announcement of being officially revealed, showing her extremely excited and thankful for the opportunity Bethesda offered.
It's cool shit, man. Somebody said she may not be around before Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, so they were like, well, we'll just stick her in the game.
Dude, women live forever.
Sure.
We'll see.
It's true.
She could be like 300 and still kicking.
Nope.
I'm pretty sure my great grandma's going to outlive all of us. So
No,
I don't know,
there's no
man.
way.
Ever since Stan Lee died, now I just question everything.
yeah, but
He was
Stanley
like 80.
Stanley
But like
was
I
a
just
man,
thought he would
though.
live forever. I don't know.
Stanley was a man though. Men don't live to be very old, but women live forever.
True. He outlived his wife.
Well, yeah, but wasn't his wife sick?
Yeah.
You guys know Bernie Mac died?
In like 2006.
Never. It still hurts.
It still hurts. Last
Big
up,
Bernie
and-
Mac fan, huh?
No, I don't have
Oh yeah,
anything to
yeah.
say
We
this.
didn't talk about the fucking Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 thing. Why the fuck are they going to E3 then?
To say, hey, we're fixing Fallout 76.
Yeah, maybe.
Bear with
And
us.
Oh, that was-
Rage 2 DLC.
Rage 2. Oh, sure, DLC. It's like Rage 2 comes out like in a month.
Rage 3.
Yeah, yeah, maybe we're fixing.
Post-Rage 2 world, man.
Well, they also haven't said they're doing a Bethesda conference yet, so.
I think they did.
Oh,
I think they announced one earlier in the
I don't
year.
fucking know why they're there. Then Wolfenstein, like the actual next Wolfenstein game. I don't know. We've said before, don't have a Bethesda conference unless you're literally showing us Elder Scrolls, Fallout, or Starfield, because it's pointless. And they did good last year because they showed us
I was
Fallout
gonna
76. They showed us a Fallout game.
Yeah, they didn't even need Elder Scrolls in Starfield last year.
Nah. Well, I mean, they didn't have Elder Scrolls or Star. I mean, they did.
They did, but like they didn't.
A fucking title roll package does not count as a freaking teaser.
Maybe not to you, but to most people, that was totally fine.
Sure, I guess.
Because most people don't realize that we're not getting those games until like mid PS5.
Yeah, sure.
But I don't know what they're why do it? What are you going to show off?
Skyrim.
Dishonored
Again.
3.
I don't know. I don't think Arcane's. I think Arcane has put that on hold
Okay.
because
Then
the
the
last one
next-
didn't sell well.
Then the next Wolfenstein.
I could see
Rage.
Wolfenstein.
Too. Wolfenstein didn't sell well either. Wolfenstein 2 didn't sell well.
I thought it did okay.
No, it did not. It was
Fine.
nope. It didn't sell well.
No? Okay.
Yeah, well, because
Well,
like
what's
Was that because
well?
the whole controversy?
Like
around it,
Call
or-
of Duty sells well. Like other games sell just fine.
no, I think they sold less than their previous titles.
Well, did they sell as much as Anthem? Anthem sold well, and there's like 3 million.
I think they sold. I don't know. Whatever the previous titles did,
Okay.
they did less.
Well-
is what from what I understand.
But I think Wolfenstein's like beloved already. It's in that category where you're going to look at it in 5 years with rose-colored glasses, no matter what.
I mean,
so like that.
Wolfenstein is great.
They could show off another
Sure.
Prey.
Yeah, but I mean that's here's a problem. Here's a problem with all their not Bethesda softworks.
They
stuff.
did that, and it didn't make an impact. It made an impact on Trey because he really enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
game's great.
The whole moon thing, right?
No.
For
The
the first
Prey
Prey.
one was the one with the like you had the glue gun and like
Yeah,
this
yeah,
weird-
yeah.
the moon.
Oh no, I
thing?
thght because they put out like
They
a
did
whole
a-
moon
they did-
DLC. and all
Oh,
that
I
stuff.
see what you're saying.
He's talking about E3 2017.
I'm talking
You're
about the
E3
original. I'm talking about the original release.
Gotcha, okay.
It was cool, but it wasn't. That was the year I was like, why the hell is Bethesda even here?
I mean, because here's the thing about Bethesda. Bethesda software games always sell great and they're awesome.
You were drunk.
You
You showed up at the house with like a box of 12 tacos from Taco Bell.
You ate like 2 of them. I ate like 10 of them.
Yeah, and we watched the Bethesda conference
Yeah.
like at 1 a.m.
It was the day before my
Sounds
birthday.
awesome.
I was very birthday
Let's
drunk.
recreate that this year.
Very birthday drunk. I'm willing to get birthday drunk for E3 again.
We could do
I'm
E3 at your place.
Yeah, we could. Well, oh yeah, maybe we should. Yeah, we'd be in there by then.
Yeah.
I don't want Trey to be any drunk because he was like beyond drunk the first time we ever did E3 stuff, and we lost him like hard.
That's not true. You lost me for one covering a showcase, and then I came back in after I had some fuego.
Yeah, it's
That's
because
why
we
you
had
don't drink on an empty stomach, folks.
No
There you
idea
go.
he was drinking. We
Anyway.
just thought it was like cranberry juice. But it was vodka and cranberry juice. Of
course.
Yeah.
Bethesda software games sell great and they're awesome. I think all of the other Bethesda published shit has been good for at
Sure.
least last 5 to 10 years. The issue with those games, though,
Except for Fallout. I'm sorry.
I'm
You said
talking
Bethesda
about
published.
Yeah, not
carry on,
developed.
sir.
I think they've all been great. I can't think of a bad one since the first Rage. But the problem with those games is that they just don't sell great. Like Doom did really well,
Sure,
and I think the first Wolfenstein and Dishonored did well, but those sequels and Prey just didn't do well. So it makes me wonder, like.
It's also that 2017 conference kind of fell flat because it's like, here's Prey, and people are like, cool, Elder Scrolls,
Yeah,
And?
and
it's just like I appreciate their drive to produce single player games and to make that a business model that they stand by and stand on. But after a while, you have to ask, like, how much longer are we going to get these great games when they're not selling? I would love to see them for forever, but I don't see any business continuing to produce these games when they're not doing anything.
Right.
Very
At least
true.
take a long break, like
Yeah,
not
Well,
release for a couple
years.
years.
Sure, I agree with you completely. But if they're going to have a Bethesda conference, and we were looking at probably another Prey. I didn't think about this, but Doom.
Yeah, they'll show Doom
They'll
off.
show the new Doom because it doesn't come out till November, I think, or is it December? I can't remember when the new Doom comes out. They'll show a new Doom. They'll probably show Wolfenstein, maybe a new Wolfenstein or more Wolfenstein DLC,
Wolfenstein.
Rage DLC.
Game of Thrones, Bethesda.
It's like Blood 2 Two Bloods, Bloods of Twins, Twin Blood,
there's something about
Die Hard,
I like how we just got to see a Chris stroke happen live.
something Blood,
Yeah, I mean they all have blood in them. New
Twin Blood,
old blood.
No, it's like Twin Blood. It's about those two twins.
It's a little on the
They
nose,
have
don't you
not
think?
put out a release date yet for Doom Eternal.
Oh, sure, Eternal. But I'm talking about Twin Blood.
No,
Sure,
I was like one step
sure,
behind
yeah,
because you're
yeah,
asking
yeah,
about
sorry.
release dates. Now I have to look this up because
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's like Blood Twins.
Youngblood.
Youngblood. Nailed it.
Twins,
that's
Bloods.
that's actually their rap album.
Whoa.
I don't
That'd be
know.
awesome.
Again, the Evil Within 3. This conference is going to fall flat without Elder Scrolls and Starfield.
Or they're just going to come out with Game of Thrones.
And it's okay.
And it's like, you remember that leak from 2 years ago? It was just really early.
Or Fallout 5, which I seriously doubt.
Oh, yeah, there's no way.
Or like a off-site produced Fallout,
Yeah,
like
'cause
we've
the
been
last one
asking
did
for.
so great.
Yeah.
No. It did. The last one was not 76.
I'm talking about
You're talking about
76.
like New Vegas.
I'm talking about like an off-site produced.
It was
Fallout.
offsite.
No,
That was
it was-
not. It
no,
was
it was
not made in
Bethesda.
Bethesda Softworks.
Sure, it was.
No, it was one of their. It was Bethesda Softworks, but it was a satellite studio somewhere else.
Was it ZeniMax?
It wasn't ZeniMax. It was Bethesda Softworks. What the fuck are you doing?
How many Dr. Pepper shakes did you bring us?
Special guest, Rich.
Oh, Rich is the best.
So we live in Texas, where we have the
never
greatest,
had a
Fuck yeah, we do.
the
This is
great,
fucking awesome.
the greatest fucking burger chain in Texas.
In,
No, let's not get carried away because I don't know all of them. I'm just saying in Texas.
you know, I'm open to burgers. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
In the Midwest, sure. And they have shake every like season or so. They come out with a new shake. Last season was the coffee shake, which was really good. Now,
And they had a salted caramel shake the month
that's the
before.
one I'm talking about. So
That was
sorry,
really
salted
good.
caramel. Now, Whataburger has come out with a Dr. Pepper shake, and
it's
I
basically a Dr Pepper float, right?
I don't know.
It's
We were
Dr. Pepper and vanilla ice cream.
we were
Yeah, that's a Dr.
we
Pepper
were at
float.
Whataburger
It
a couple
is.
of days ago, and I was too scared to try it. And so Rich tweeted at me. He's like, "There's Dr. Pepper shakes," and I was like, "I was too scared to try it." It's like, "I'm going to bring you one." So,
They're fucking good.
Is it good?
Oh yeah, it's a Dr Pepper float.
all right.
So we are missing a straw. Oh no, there it is.
Exciting.
All right, let's keep moving. We're moving along.
Yeah. Sponsor.
Rumor mill number 2.
Yeah, go ahead and read it.
Oh my God, if we could be sponsored by Whataburger, Jesus Christ.
Dude, get on it.
What,
somebody-
I don't even know what I do. I don't even know where to start.
You're our all-purpose guy, so you're also marketing to make this happen.
Congratulations.
You got a promotion today. Your pay went up by 50%, so you know.
Yeah, 50% pay raise.
50% times 0 is still 0. It's great. Last up for Rumor Mill. According to the popular Deals and Leaks Twitter,
Tastes like Dr. Pepper.
Wario64, a number of games have showed up in the Best Buy employee system for Nintendo Switch, indicating that they are slated for future release. These games include Persona 5, the Metroid Prime trilogy, and The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past.
I also saw rumors that Twilight Princess and Wind Waker
I hope so, because those ports are amazing.
I'd play Twilight again.
That's how I felt about Wind Waker. I love Wind Waker.
I'd play Twilight again.
Especially on the Switch, I feel like Wind Waker would be a great game for that.
You know what else would be a great game for the Switch?
I don't think I like this.
I mean, it's sweet. You don't like sweet things.
Yeah, but I like Whataburger shakes. The strawberry Whataburger shake is one of my favorite things in the world. I don't think I like this.
What's wrong with it?
I don't know. It's weird.
It tastes like
It tastes like a Dr. Pepper float.
Number one, I don't like floats. I'm not a fan of the ice cream soda mix. And I think that's
then of course that's the reason why you're not going to like that.
Well, I thought it was maybe different. I think that's all it is too. I think it's just vanilla ice cream mixed with Dr. Pepper. I'm
not a fan of the ice cream soda mix.
Well, no,
it's a Dr. Pepper shake.
No. I thought it was going to be like a syrup mixture. This literally just tastes like they put Dr. Pepper and vanilla.
Probably, I mean, just mixed it together. Probably
that's what we do at Draft House. I mean, for us at Draft House, when I want a shake, I'll get a Coke shake. Just Coke and mix up the fucking shake.
I'm not sure I like that.
That's fucking Rich is the best. Anyways, you know what else is a great game for the Switch? Persona 5.
That's probably what that Persona 5 R that they've been teasing.
I forgot to put that on something.
April the 24th.
So it looks like it's Persona 5, whatever it is, R, whatever.
Persona 5 R or something like that.
It's going to be an RPG. I think it's just to me it looks like a DLC or like kind of like a 0.5 sequel to Persona 5.
What I think it is they did this for Persona 3. They did Persona 3 like FTR.
Oh, FTR?
No, yeah, FTR or something like that. No, that's Fuck the Revival. Anyway, it's Persona 3. They did this. They added stuff into the story, but you could also play as a female character.
Well, that was something that someone said.
What that Persona 5, it's very much shows that female character, whether that's a new character or you can choose male or female now.
But the thing about that I agree with that. Other people have said that, and I agree with that. But the other thing about that trailer was that it is someone commenting on the things that have been happening with the Steal Your Heart Club.
Sure.
So I agree that they're going to add in a female protagonist because I've seen that a bunch of places.
But it could.
But I think it's also additional story content.
Sure. Yeah, that's pretty much what they did for Persona 3.
Talk about
Fursona, not Persona. Fursona.
Talk about games that I like always want to go back and replay. Like I literally have it downloaded on my PS4 right now because there is nothing wrong with that game. I think Persona 5 is when it comes down to like talking about perfect games,
or finished games in general.
Well, no, I think for what Persona 5 is trying to be, it is perfect in every aspect.
I agree.
I don't think it fails at anything that it's trying to be. So in terms of execution for what a Persona game is, it's perfect.
Sure, I agree with that.
It's just so much. It's a lot of game.
It is. It's one of those games too that. This is my only negative with Persona games. It's so easy to miss things in Persona. And by miss things, I mean it's so easy to miss a summon or to miss an event where it would have benefited you in the long run, and you can't go back and do it again because you're basically on that day to night system, day by day by day. So you can't go back and get another day unless you reload a save. And that's that. Like, I love Persona. I'm never gonna not say I don't love that franchise, but that's the only thing is that I played Persona 3 by myself when it first came out. But then the second time I played it, I had a guide and I followed the guide to a T. And with the guide, it was a better experience.
I have to, like I was gonna say, I have to lose your respect for a second because when I first played through, I played through like half of Persona 5. But the first time that I played it, because we got it like a year after it launched in Japan.
Yeah, something like that.
So someone had created a non-spoiler calendar
that
cool. Literally just told you every day places to go. And that was the whole way I played that, like what to do on that day. Because
that's cool.
And it wasn't like, it's not a matter of like you need to cheat at that game.
No.
But like
there's things you don't want to miss in that game.
I think the fun of that game is the high school sim part of it.
Sure.
And you don't want to miss the conversations between people or the different events.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, I mean like I said, my second time through Persona 3, that's exactly how I play it. Anytime I play through a Persona a second time, I play through with a guide,
just to hit everything.
100% can be guide of Persona and to me, it's a better experience than my first playthrough, just because I can see everything.
Yeah,
it bothers me when I can't see everything. And I lost it. That just bothers me.
No, it's the same thing. Like it's always like on my second playthrough of BioWare games, I usually give it like 6 to 8 months.
Sure.
And someone puts out a checklist of every quest and everything.
Yeah.
And I literally just follow those checklists until I've knocked out the whole game.
I never do that in BioWare. I feel like I finished BioWare, but when I get to that end and somebody's like, here's a secret quest, and I'm like, fuck, god damn it, and I have to go back and play it again.
Did you do that with Detroit? Detroit Become Human?
There's too many endings in that game, dude.
Yeah, I want to platinum Detroit, but
Do you have to see every ending to platinum Detroit?
no, I don't think you do.
Thank God. That would be that'd be playing through that game like 9 or 10 times.
It's just the thing about like going back into, because I had the same problem with Heavy Rain because I really wanted to platinum Heavy Rain too, but those are just two games that I feel like the way that game ended for me was perfect in the way that it should have ended, and I don't necessarily want to see the other stuff because I feel like I got the perfect ending.
I get that.
Right. It's the ending that the way you were playing the game,
Yeah.
it made sense. It built up to it perfectly, I guess.
I get
right?
that.
And with like the Mass Effect games, it's a little bit different because I feel like whereas I'm playing Detroit, I'm playing Quantic Dream games just for the story, just to see like a story play out and the way that I fuck up and how that affects everything. With a Mass Effect game, like I feel the same way that I do about Persona. Like for me, the fun of Mass Effect and Dragon Age, like sure the gameplay on those games are great, but the fun for me is the
Seeing
character
everything.
interaction and
Yeah.
the story. And so I don't want to miss a single thing in the story
Sure.
or mess up like an ending there.
Okay.
Plus, BioWare games are just, when they're done right, are a little bit more sacred to me.
Let me ask you a question, everybody at this table, including
Yeah.
Everett. It's one thing that it's not news or anything like that, but the internet's rallying behind an easy mode for Sekiro. Sekiro, Die Twice.
Sakura?
Sekiro, whatever it's called, the new From Software game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What side do you guys think a From Software game should have an easy mode?
Every single From Software game should have an easy mode.
Interesting.
Because as much as those games are about skill, there being an easy mode doesn't take away from people that want a hard
They
game.
want a hard game, sure.
It doesn't affect their enjoyment of the game at all.
Sure.
But I also think that those games are all of those games are masterpieces. And I think it's an injustice that someone's ability to play a game could restrict their ability to see that beautiful world.
I actually agree with you.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I don't know. Like for me,
Somebody who plays Dark Souls and everything on like hard. Be like I mean, I go through
You do?
Dark Souls 2. I got to New Game 9, I think.
wow,
So yeah, like I love those games.
that's impressive. Like for me, I don't know. Like I guess I'm of two minds of it. I can see, it kind of sucks if you wouldn't get to you can't enjoy this this beautiful game because it's really hard. But also, I feel like the creators, the difficulty might be part of like the artwork, or the difficulty is part of the art of the game.
But like you said, putting an easy mode in doesn't take that away.
No, but I mean, I guess I could see why they would feel like it cheapens it, like it devalues it almost.
I mean,
like
but
if you want to experience it and you can't play it you can't play to that skill. I mean, you can watch people play it. You can watch people play it online.
Yeah. I'm getting worked up for no reason, and the reason why I caught myself doing that, like I was like starting to get like very upset with you.
I did say I'm of two minds.
No,
yeah.
I know. It's just the
Your second mind's dumb, Justin.
like if you talk no, it's not that you're when we're having this conversation about From Software games, the person that we're talking about is me. I think that like if you were to if I were to name two worlds that stand out to me in video games in the last decade or in this generation cycle that I just think are perfect and beautiful and I want to see more of and I like they fascinate me. Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne are those two worlds. Yep. And I literally do not have the capacity as a gamer to play through those games successfully, which means that I have to miss the story and everything else. And yeah,
They're so good.
I can watch a playthrough or whatever, but that's not the same as like walking around the world and discovering things for yourself.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so like I would love if they were to patch in an easy mode for Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne because I want to go back and see those worlds. They're fascinating to me.
So,
they're so
like-
well constructed.
Yeah.
So like I hear your two minds, and the only parallel I can draw is when an artist paints something. The last thing you would want to ask the artist is to write a fucking essay and hang it next to the artwork and say, explain this to me, right? This is write an essay to explain this. You don't ask artists to do that. You know what I mean? You don't ask artists to explain their art. You interpret the art the way you interpret art. Me, I don't understand it. Like Sandy's paintings all across the, I don't understand it. I don't get it. It literally, it literally looks like a bunch of colors mixed together and thrown onto a canvas to me. I don't understand it. But that doesn't mean that I wouldn't want to understand it. So when she does explain it, I listen. And that's kind of like that easy mode, right? That easy mode is an artist explaining the art, but I don't ever want to ask an artist, I need you to explain this to me because I'm an idiot when it comes to art.
Right.
And so I see your two minds like, I don't want to ask From Software. It's like, hey, I can't play your game, make it easy. I don't necessarily want to ask that because that wasn't the vision they set out to make.
Exactly, because I think of it like, in my mind, I almost think of it like
although I still agree with you.
Yeah,
right.
It should be an easy mode.
Like, I think of it almost like a movie. Like, if someone were to make a foreign film, beautiful, awesome, well acted, and everything.
Tons of nudity.
Sure, lots of nudity. Yep. But it's foreign, and it's like, oh, well, like, I really want to enjoy it. Like, why can't you do like a dub of this and stuff? Like, if it's not a part of their original vision, then I could see it.
A counter argument, though, to the art argument is that
it's not art yet. George
No.
R. R. Martin.
yes,
Thanks,
exactly.
George. Thanks, George. Appreciate it.
I did it. No, I think that due to the interactive nature of video games, that treating them like other art forms isn't fair.
You're 100%
I think
right.
that as a creator, once you release a video game, you don't get to choose what is art about your game to every gamer. So while the gameplay of Dark Souls might be the art to From Software or to Chris as someone that can play those games, they are literally not art to me. The art to me is the world.
Sure.
I'm not there to experience the gameplay. I'm there to experience the world.
Yep.
And so when you have an interactive platform, I think that you owe it to your audience to allow them to experience that art the way they want to.
Did you finish that already?
Most of it. Yeah.
You know, because I finished mine.
Here. You know you want it.
I know I do.
I shouldn't.
But because it's different than a movie or a book or a painting, because a movie, book, or painting are just the words or the scenes or the colors on a canvas. But a video game is not that.
Yeah,
it's the sound design and the world and the story.
Just
and the
because
gameplay.
you don't interpret it correctly doesn't mean you can't interpret it at all.
And it doesn't mean that my interpretation is wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sure.
I do agree with you. I thought that was funny as like the internet again. Some of the internet's up in arms. It's like, you're not real gamers if you can't beat Bloodborne. It's like, God damn, dude, just like let everybody play a game.
Yeah.
Just let them play it.
Yeah, I mean,
Like I would love to be completely honest with you, as somebody who has beat Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, Bloodborne, and Demon Souls 1 and 2, beat them all. I would welcome an easy mode for those games because sometimes I just do not want that stress in my life.
well, and like, I mean, everyone is saying that Sekiro is harder than any
than
Dark Souls
That's what I've
or
heard, yeah.
any other From Software game. And to me, I love the world of Sekiro. I think that this weird, like, kind of like almost zombie samurai thing, like this weird, like, intermingling between death and rot and samurais. It's fascinating to me. But I'm not going to drop $60 on it, beat the first boss, and be like, okay, I beat the game, yay.
Dude, he beat the cleric boss
in like 15 hours.
In 15 hours, and he put the game down. He's like, I'm done.
It wasn't a bad or negative experience. It was, I beat the game.
Then Justin, that was the first boss
In
Bloodborne.
The first one.
Pretty much my only experience with a Dark Souls game was me trying to beat like the first. I don't even know if it's considered a boss. Like the first thing that you do whenever you have to like climb up on the thing and like kind of like jump from above.
Which
and so
one?
I couldn't get it. Dark Souls 1, 2? I don't know.
I did better in Dark Souls 3.
I think Dark Souls is an easier game.
It is. It's so much easier. I got like halfway through the game where the two knights and then the third one comes in. And
there's just a level of stress that I just
Dark Souls
can't
3,
handle.
the Ferris Knight, Fenrir Knights or whatever
Something
they're called.
like that.
Yeah. And with the big great swords and they drag them on the ground and kind of spin around and shit.
And then the third one on fire comes in and he's fighting you and the other two. It was a great fucking boss fight. I like appreciate that shit so much. I love it. I just can't beat it.
I wish other games would look at games like that for boss mechanics. You imagine like a Destiny raid with a boss mechanic like that? It'd be fun as hell.
Well, I mean, as someone who's been developing my own boss encounters of some sort, I have to say though that like it's kind of hard. I only know this from the Dungeons and Dragons perspective. I don't know this from the game creating perspective. But I think I realize why so many boss fights are boring and not original and derivative of literally every other boss fight.
Sure.
Because especially when you're looking at D&D, is that sometimes you're like, I really want to do this really cool thing. But then the question is can people beat this?
Sure.
Like if I have a really cool idea that makes a hard fight and you can't beat that fight, then like it's not a good fight either. So like there's that weird balance, and maybe it's more in D&D than it is in like real game making, but there's that balance in D&D between I want to do something really cool, but I also want to give the players an opportunity to beat it. Or in my case, I do something really cool and you never get to see it because I roll like shit or you guys roll too well.
Yeah, not you guys. One person rolls really well.
Nope, I rolled a 4 on stealth last week and 2 natural ones.
10 natural 20s.
Nope, didn't roll. I did not roll 120 at all last week.
Did you not?
Nope, didn't
I
roll a
rolled
20 once.
At least 3.
Yep.
4.
I rolled 2 natural ones and
Rolled four
and
20s.
definitely a 4. But I have a plus 11 to stealth, so it's like I can roll whatever the fuck I want.
We were
and stealth
talking about that.
and be okay.
Chris and I were talking about that after the session. It's like, why do you always do so well? He's like, because I only do the things I'm good at. It's like, oh, yep, you're not wrong. That's
Yeah,
smart.
I mean,
you don't
that-
see
that's-
Voss making strength checks all the time.
Why would I ever try?
Yeah.
That's like when I jumped off of a building. It's like that would be acrobatics, right? And you're like, yeah. It's like, okay, I got a plus 6 acrobatics. I should be fine.
Yeah.
And I was.
Until the fire elementals.
Sure. Tell the fire elementals.
But then somehow we get into other situations where it's like people with like minuses to certain skills are doing these things.
Last week, Kat's a perfect example. Kat's trying to talk to people and she's got a -1 in charisma. It's like, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, but it happened.
Yeah. The party creeped on a poor guy trying to get a date.
I know.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
Topic of the week.
happens.
So Kotaku's Jason Schreier published a report.
I'm not a huge fan of this guy, but this is a great report.
I don't know how you're not a huge fan
Well,
of Jason Schreier.
I mean, when I say fan, I mean like I would mark out if I got to meet Triple H.
Oh, okay.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, no.
I enjoy Jason Schreier's articles.
Jason Schreier is one of my favorite people.
It's just
ever.
not one of those things I would freak out if I saw Jason Schreier in a Starbucks. That's all.
Oh, I would freak out. Also, like, Jason Schreier is weird because Jason Schreier, if you're listening to this, I mean no offense, but I used to,
But you're weird for this reason.
I used to listen. This is not actually. He's not weird. People are like this all the time, and I shouldn't judge. But I used to listen to a podcast that he was on that he would be on with his friend, and he like when he talks, he sounds gay, which made me love him more because I was like, oh, he's gay. Like maybe one day we'll get married and everything will be cool. But no, he's straight and has a girlfriend. Or
No,
wife
that's
or
why he
something.
thinks it's weird.
Justin
Yeah,
sounds
he's hurt.
gay.
I don't think that's true.
I think it's just a product of being a male millennial. They all sound a little bit effeminate.
They?
A little bit.
You are also a millennial.
And
I am also-
but I'm not a straight millennial.
I am
so-
also a millennial.
Yeah, that's true. No, I don't know.
Anyway, Jason Schreier published a report about BioWare and the working conditions of BioWare during Anthem's development. Here are some of the things that he said.
Dude, you
Some
wrote
of the
a
negative things. he said.
fucking novel in this damn in these notes.
BioWare was mandated to use Frostbite and struggled with development because of the engine. BioWare opted out of using the Mass Effect Andromeda engine when working on Anthem, meaning that the studio had to completely modify the engine for use as a looter shooter, which Frostbite was not meant for.
Sorry to be. Can I be a little bit more clear on that?
Sure. As you can see, I wrote a novel, so I didn't exactly have the opportunity.
Yeah,
to be clear.
Andromeda still used Frostbite, but the Anthem developers decided not to use the already established existing code for Andromeda, which was heavily modified, and bring that over to build Anthem on top of that. They just decided to literally start from scratch.
Ground up
build Anthem,
Yep.
which was a dumb idea. Because like Trey said, that this engine sucks.
Mind you, if it doesn't say this in the bullet point that I'm reading, these are all alleged things from a report from 19 BioWare
yeah.
former and current employees that talked to Jason Schreier. So if I forget to say alleged or whatever, just assume that I mean alleged. Due to lower sales of RPGs, BioWare could not get help from EA's Frostbite team to help sort out some of the issues, and EA moved Anthem staff experience in Frostbite over to their FIFA team. Development featured a large amount of mismanagement with decisions not being made. The true vision for what Anthem would be did not come together until about 16 months prior to the release of the game, after the E3 2017 Anthem demo was shown to the public.
Dude, there was a fucking example Jason used in this thing. He said even after the 2017 demo, they said they might have had one mission working in Anthem.
Wow.
That's it.
That's
all of-
crazy.
And flying wasn't even in the game at the time, which I'm sure we'll get to.
I actually don't have that on.
Oh, dude, yeah. Like during the 2017 thing, or right before the 2017
Basically-
demo, flying wasn't a thing.
Basically, in 2017,
yeah.
they showed a demo to Patrick Soderlund, one of the high up execs at
The
EA.
higher up. He's
The higher
CEO,
up.
yeah.
And they didn't have flying in the demo because they had put it in and taken it out a whole bunch of times, and they had opted to take it out before they showed this demo. I think it was pretty much a concrete decision at that point.
That it was out.
Yeah, so they show it to Patrick Soderlund, and he watches the demo and he was like, that was fucking awful. You need to do better. And then right before E3, they basically showed him the E3 demo and had added flying back in. But the thing about that E3 demo is that it's not even a vertical slice of the game. It is not a part of the game at all.
Yep.
It is completely different code, basically made for Patrick Soderlund. And after he watched that demo and saw the flying and stuff, he was like, this is fucking awesome. Make this game. I got you. And so they basically used that same demo at E3, which is why so much shit is different than what's in the actual game.
17 months before the game came out.
By that
So
point,
this
there
whole
was no game.
this whole them working on it for 7 years thing.
Sure. A lot of BioWare employees that might be in there have said Anthem was in pre-production for 6 years. It wasn't until the last year where they finally started making the game.
That's insane.
Yep.
It's crazy, man.
Infighting between wait. There we go. Yeah. Infighting
right.
between BioWare Austin and BioWare Edmonton led to animosity between the two teams. BioWare Austin entered late into the development of Anthem and were supposedly seen as a support team to the Edmonton team. According to some Austin employees, their feedback, which was similar to a lot of the feedback from fans post-launch, was not taken seriously and dismissed.
A lot of the 19 employees. We'll just call them the outsiders. Nope, we'll call them the group of what is a good the B. No, I don't want to call them the B team. The 19 people Jason interviewed. What should we call them?
Oh, I got you. Like, I don't know, the whistleblowers?
Sure, the whistleblowers.
There you go. Yeah, that's
yeah. Some of the whistleblowers from Austin were saying that they were noticing shit in Anthem that they ran into in the Old Republic, saying, "Hey, this isn't going to work in an online game. We need to change it." A la having story being told in the middle of a mission where you're just trying to have fun with your friends, or having a single player experience of Fort Tarsis when everybody's waiting on you. All these things, they were like, hey, we ran into this in the development of Old Republic. It shouldn't be a thing. And they were looked at like a B team and just not listened to.
Wow.
You take an extremely successful MMO, in my opinion. You take that development team and start getting advice from them, and then you just throw it in the back burner.
I mean,
But meanwhile, they couldn't get help from EA. With their whole RPG team, working on FIFA.
They couldn't get help from the Frostbite experts because they were working on FIFA.
But then they're not going to accept this help from this advice from BioWare Austin.
The other fucked up thing is that Austin is essentially the live team for this game post-launch.
Sure, yep.
So that means that the shit that Edmonton didn't want to fix are things that Austin's having to deal with now. Decisions that they were trying to fight against are things that they're having to deal with now.
Yep. A lot of the developers that are working on the game as of right now weren't even part of the development team in the first 6 years.
Right. And the people that made all those decisions, a lot of them aren't working on Anthem. They've moved on to Dragon Age 4, which was another thing that I didn't put on here.
This is pretty shitty.
So Mike Laidlaw left BioWare, right?
Yep.
He left BioWare because
2017.
They canceled Dragon Age 4, which was in pre-production. They completely canceled it. Mike Laidlaw left, and they moved the Dragon Age 4 team over to Anthem development.
And now, according to Schreier, Dragon Age 4 development has started back up again without the lead writer of the Dragon Age games.
And just an amazing fucking writer. Not even just an amazing writer.
Amazing writer. Sure, you're right.
Oh, it's fucking ridiculous.
Like David Gator and Mike Laidlaw wrote those Dragon Age games, and Gator hasn't written anything for BioWare for a while.
According to the report, David Gator was moved over to the writing team for Anthem and left because the team was so fucking vitriolic to him for making a game that was written closely to Dragon Age.
That's right.
Even though he was specifically told to go after the science fiction / fantasy
Yeah,
field.
exactly.
And so now that they're gone, now they're like, okay, now let's work on
Well,
Dragon
also,
Age.
I mean, this might be later. I haven't got a chance to read it, but this might be later. But the story of Anthem wasn't even finalized till a year before 2017.
I mean,
the story, the lore,
not that surprising.
Well,
I guess,
the thing is like Trey was saying earlier, there was so many. I think there were too many witches stirring the pot. There were so many people that had this idea for Anthem, and this is what it should be. And so there was tons of this all over the place, and decisions weren't being made. Story decisions weren't being made. Early on in the article, they talk about the game wasn't called Anthem until 2016 when they showed that first thing. The game was supposed to be called Beyond or something like that. And EA came to them right before E3 2016, where we saw that first initial thing where that Jara's Wrath legendary gun dropped, and it was like, wow, this is super cool. EA came to them like a month before that came out and they were like, you can't call it Beyond because we're having a hard time copywriting it. You have to change the name.
And
it's like
the whole name for Anthem comes from the whole Anthem of Creation, right?
Which is a good idea.
It's a great idea. That was not a thing in the story.
Nope.
That was something that was added later to accommodate the name.
Yep.
And going back to development of this game too, because I did not put this in there, but Jason Schreier basically talks about how, like, towards the end of Dragon Age Inquisition's production, or maybe towards the middle of it, Casey Hudson and his team went over and started working on pre-production for Anthem. And the original thing about Anthem was that it was going to be a little bit more, it was going to be harder, it was going to be more Dark Soulsy, it was going to basically be a roguelike. It was going to be a try to get as far as you can, die, and then get sent back to the beginning. But one of the things that they talked about was that it was going to take place on this alien world that had gone through a big cataclysm. And so the environment and weather and all that was going to be a major thing that was affecting gameplay. Like you were having to survive against the weather and a harsh environment. But one of the things that they ran into was that I think they did a lot of the pre-testing on it under Unreal. They couldn't get it to work in Frostbite. And they had tried so hard to make this work for a while that after like the first year of pre-production, they had to basically go back and figure it out again. And one of the things that Jason Schreier talks about is after Casey Hudson left, and I forgot the guy's name, but basically when he took over management of the project, their meetings would basically be them talking about an idea, going back and forth about an idea, almost getting to the end of the idea.
Never finalizing anything.
Someone would bring up something else about the idea. The meeting would end, and they would leave with no decision being made. And all these people would have to go back to their teams and start working on a game with no decision.
With no direction.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like no milestones were set in the development of this game. There was no concrete decision maker up until Dura came in. Once Mark Dura came in, I think it finally started getting legs, and Dura was like, I don't care what you're working on, finish it because we have to freaking do this.
Right.
And so like once Dura came on, some sort of leadership finally developed. But like I said, there was no milestones. There were no decisions being made. It's just insane. Insane what kind of fucking development hell this game went through.
I mean, maybe that's why we didn't really have a clear idea of even what Anthem was. Because remember the whole thing about, like, everyone was kind of unsure about Anthem, and then there was the whole behind closed doors demo,
maybe.
and then everyone who played the demo was like, no, this game's really good.
Sure.
So maybe they just had a lot of practice at making really good demos.
The only thing, from what I understand, the only thing that was ever concrete was the fact that they wanted to have like an Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
That was the only concrete thing that's ever been in this game.
Yeah. And the last thing I have on the alleged list, although I keep thinking of new things, so we'll see. Long working hours, mismanagement, and stress allegedly led many employees to take weeks to months of doctor-mandated stress leave from development of the game. Some employees did not return to the company after their stress leave.
I wouldn't have returned to a company like this.
No, I wouldn't.
That sounds like
If
a
I
train
had to
wreck,
work,
dude.
if I had to work under like shit like that, there's no fucking way. If I don't have somebody, if I'm an underling, right, and I don't have management managing me, it's like what am I even doing here?
Yep.
Yeah, the confidence has to come from the
100%,
top down.
man.
You know?
100%.
If they're walking around aimlessly, it's like, oh, fuck this. Like,
Yeah.
if your captain of your ship doesn't know what they're doing, go ahead and just abandon ship.
Well,
dude.
that was something that fucking Jason Schreier talked about too. They're talking about how, like, you know, Casey Hudson leading a team, it was like the Star Trek Enterprise. Everyone was behind his back. Everyone like supported him. Everyone did what he said. And the second he left, everything fell apart.
Yeah.
No, and I could see why they'd be like, we will pay you whatever you want to leave Microsoft and come back to us.
Come back, sure.
Kotaku reached out to BioWare with a list of specific questions prior to the release of the article. Shortly after the article was posted, EA and BioWare responded on their blog and said some of the following. These are all just quotes that I cherry picked out of there. Quote, "We chose not to commit or comment or participate in the story because we felt there was an unfair focus on specific team members and leaders who did their absolute best to bring this totally new idea to fans. We didn't want to be part of something that was attempting to bring them down as individuals. We respect them all, and we built this game as a team," end quote. Though, as Jason Schreier points out at the end of his article, the piece mostly doesn't focus on specific team members.
Yeah, the Jason's piece literally talks about the development of Anthem
Right.
and the shit that it went through, not pointing out it's like this person is the cause of Anthem's development.
Right. It seems fairly like here's just everything that happened.
Here's everything.
Here's its life cycle.
Sure,
How
and
it came
BioWare
to
responded with, "We chose not to comment or participate in the story because we felt like it's an unfair focus to team members. Nobody was focused in on the story, It's almost like BioWare didn't even read the damn story before they decided to make a fucking comment.
Someone took it very personally and said like, "Hey, fuck you."
No, I think they didn't even fucking read anything.
That's exactly what happened, because Jason Schreier says at the end of his article that he didn't even send them a copy of the article, that they had not read the article. So, he said that the post on BioWare's website went up minutes. It took me 30 minutes to read the whole article.
Sure.
It's a long read. So he said it went up minutes after he posted his.
So there would be no
they didn't
way.
read it.
So they made a fucking comment on an article that they didn't even read.
Exactly.
Unbelievable.
Quote, the health and well-being of our team members is something we take very seriously, ellipses. We do everything we can to try and make it healthy and stress-free, but we also know there is always room to improve, end quote.
So I'm wondering if because
that might
just
be the
basically
most truthful thing they said so far.
Well, basically, from what it sounds like, they're really focusing on like the health aspect of their team members. So I'm wondering if they knew about all the whole people taking hospital leaves and whatnot. Yeah. But two, they know that this is kind of like a big talking point in the gaming industry right now. Is everyone like fucking having shit work conditions? So they thought that's what was going to be about.
Sure, maybe.
And
then they said, fuck it, publish it, go.
The last quote I have from their response, quote, the creative process is often difficult. The struggles and challenges of making video games are very real, but the reward of putting something we created into the hands of our players is amazing. People in this industry put so much passion and energy into making something fun. We don't see the value in tearing down one another or one another's work. We don't believe articles that do that are making our industry and craft better, end quote.
Again, this article didn't even come close to tearing anybody down.
Also,
not even close.
If I were to take that same quote and apply that to literally any other business, the movie business, being the president of the United States, we would all say that was bullshit.
We have a president of the United States?
Yeah, he's an orange fellow. I don't... Having reporting on any industry is what you get for being a multi-million-dollar industry. And so you take the right away of protecting your secrets when you're charging players $60 to get in and experience the thing that you want.
Mm-hmm. Sure, but I agree with you. But the point being, to me here, and that statement right there is, once again, they just didn't read the article and they're trying to cover their asses for something they think they did wrong.
No, but I wholly believe, though, that the way that out of all the things, again, they did not read the article, but out of all the things that they've said, this is probably the most true thing that they actually mean, is that they don't want people writing bad articles about them when they're misbehaving.
Sure.
But, it's totally, I also want to see the quote where they're like, don't write badly about the Kardashians either. They're just people. Like, it's fucking bullshit.
But they are.
You don't get to hide behind art as a way to protect yourself from criticism.
Kim and Kanye are just people.
Yeah. It's one of the things that comes with being in like the public eye. Like, you open yourself up to criticism. Mm-hmm. If you're not ready for that, then I don't know, don't do it.
Yeah, Justin, just don't do it.
No, I mean, it's one thing to be a fucking independent creator who's putting out your own game, and you overwork yourself and you send yourself into stress attacks and make yourself go on a stress leave, whatever. That's your choice as an individual creator.
Yep.
When you lead a company and you mismanage a team and people are negatively affected by your actions, and not only that, you are a publicly traded company. You're a publicly traded company. You do not reserve the right to try to hide behind your bullshit. It just it doesn't matter. If people can invest money in your company, then you need to fucking suck it up and take the criticism. I love you, BioWare, but that's totally not a legitimate argument.
Do we though? I do.
I do. I still love them.
I do.
Yeah, what do we say though? What did we say at the sort of the beginning of the year? The 4 Bs.
Yeah, I mean they're all getting torn down.
Hard.
Yeah.
We said, I think Dre and I even said BioWare's next.
Yep.
Like the only
or that
one.
They could be, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because like it was.
We were holding out faith for Anthem.
Yeah, it was
for sure.
Blizzard. Blizzard's just fuck the poodle. Bungie, just I don't even know what the hell they're doing with their game. BioWare and Bethesda, like Bethesda, just shit. Man, they woke up in a pile of their own shit, and
then they released Elder Scrolls Blades and like add fire to the shit
and
pile.
now BioWare, the one that we were hoping could stay there. Yeah, the 4 Bs are dying, man. Mm-hmm. It's fucking crazy.
I mean, if anything, Bungie's the one that's coming back from it.
Yeah. Maybe.
And out of the 4 of them, I was not expecting Bungie to be the one that's like recovering. Bungie fans are fucking happy. I mean,
no, they're not. Have you seen the backlash of the rumor that PvP might not be in D3? Oh my fucking god!
That's something I forgot too. There was that guy that went on.
Everett's head's in the way. I can't.
I can't see you at all.
Look at me.
But that was
Sorry,
something else.
away.
There was like a massive amount of Destiny 3 leaks.
Sure. Well, that Anon the 9 put out Destiny 3 leaks, but more than that is a lot of people are, rightfully assuming, when was the last time PvP had any love in Destiny 2?
I mean, they were begging for the Crucible team to come out and say something this week on the Thwob.
Sure, never. The last time Crucible got anything was Pinnacle Weapons. And even then, it's nothing. You got a map before Forsaken launch. So since September, PvP has got nothing. Mm-hmm. Crucible Labs were taking out. Trials has been taking out indefinitely. We don't know when Trials is coming back. The best you got is Gambit. So a lot of people are saying, is like, hey, man, PvP might not be in D3. It may be different or evolving in some way, shape, or form. The internet lost its fucking shit, Trey. Like, if people are like, I won't buy Destiny 3 if there's no PvP and all this other stuff, like, just lost its fucking shit.
I mean, talk about a vocal minority, though.
Sure, 100%. But
people don't like their toys being taken.
That's the minority of the minority.
But Bungie did come out in some stream saying that there are people upstairs working on the evolution of Crucible.
God.
Period. End quote. That does not tell me that there is PvP in Destiny 3.
I hope there's not.
I hope there's not too. There's a lot of people, and I think it's more of the majority saying, hey, it already sucks in Destiny 2. It fucks up the PvE sandbox because shit gets nerfed all the time in Destiny. So like my Nova Warp at Forsaken was amazing. Now if I were to log in and Joker's Wild or whatever this thing is, the Nova Warp sucks. Ikelo's shotgun got nerfed to hell.
Yeah, because
rocket launchers suck now. Like everything sucks because of PvP.
And it's been that way since Destiny 1. Like
100%.
That's not a new thing. The other whole side of that thing too is that like I'm going to stand by this statement till the day I die. The only time that I have ever watched Destiny PvP and thought this could be an esport is when I've watched Gambit being talked over. Like, dude, Gambit could be an esport.
Yeah, next month there's a Gambit tournament that's going to be broadcast through esports and shit.
And I hope it's successful because it's great. It's so much fun to watch. I think it's fun to watch people fucking play Gambit.
You still like esports.
I fucking hate Gambit. I hate Gambit.
Yeah, but like
Gambit and Destiny fucking sucks.
Wouldn't you? But like, if there were two highly skilled teams playing against each other,
sure, maybe.
You think there's no enjoyment out of that?
Maybe, and two really good teams playing, like, oh, they stole these, maybe. But
I don't know. I had a lot of fun watching it. I had more fun watching it than I did playing it, and I like Gambit.
Yeah. And this is my theory, and I stand by it. I stand by this fucking theory. There will not be PvP as we know it in Destiny. That will be moved to Matter, which is going to be Bungie's maybe Battle Royale, maybe some sort of PvP-based game, Overwatch-type game. That's what Matter's going to be, and if you loved Destiny PvP, you go here. People who want to play a hardcore version of Destiny, what we've always wanted Destiny to be, the Anthem or Destiny or the Division Destiny type word, just a hardcore RPG. That's what Destiny 3 is. I stand by that theory.
I agree with you. Going back to Anthem.
Yeah, sorry, go to Anthem.
That's right. You could see Justin's eyes slowly glazing over. The head of BioWare addressed a Kotaku report on the studio's cultural issues yesterday afternoon, acknowledging that these problems are real and promising that, quote, our top priority is to continue working to solve them, end quote. Late Wednesday, BioWare General Manager Casey Hudson sent out an email to staff that was obtained by Kotaku that addressed the piece. The email admits that there are some problems with the development process at BioWare and lists a few ways in which BioWare plans on doing better. The email promises to go into more detail at an upcoming all-staff meeting. Since the publishing of the article, Jason Schreier has said that BioWare has asked employees not to talk to media.
Yup.
It's all about mismanagement. It's all mismanagement. Everything that happened in this development hell, is mismanagement.
Yes, I agree with that. I also think it comes down to EA's mandating, or at the very least, highly encouraging.
Use a Frostbite engine. An engine that is literally made for first-person shooters, and that's it. Mm-hmm. Well, not just that. It's made.
It's made.
It's more for Battlefront.
It's made for their sports teams, and it's made for DICE.
Yeah.
That is the purpose of that engine, and it does those things really, really well. But you don't take the masters of RPG, the masters of Western RPGs. One of the main studios, not the only studio, but one of the main studios behind making Western RPGs a thing in the video game industry. Before 2000, Western RPGs were not really a thing. It was all about JRPGs. But you don't take the developer that helped create Western RPGs as a genre and make them use an engine that they're not comfortable in.
Sure.
Like you're setting yourself up for failure unless you're giving them the right amount of time to modify the engine for themselves.
Well, the problem is they did. They had 6 years to develop this game, but 4 or 5 of it was used and just mismanaged. Like, well, we need do this, don't do this. Maybe we can do that. Blah blah. There was no definitive milestone set in this development cycle, and I think it could work. But they just didn't, like I said, in the last years when this finally came together, when there was somebody there, pulling the trigger on decisions is when it finally started to come together.
And that's the thing, like about the engine, right? Is that to me bringing up the engine is not me saying that it's a bigger issue than mismanagement. Yeah. I think it goes along with it.
Sure. Yeah. Also, if they would have just done what the developers were saying is like, let's use Mass Effect, take what they coded, start there. But no, whoever was head at the time was like, nope, we're starting from scratch. I just don't understand that.
I mean, honestly,
even then, I feel like they could have, it's kind of like you said, they could have worked through that, especially with how much time they had.
6 years. 6 years is a long time. It's a
very
long development time.
I just feel like it comes down to mainly you have to make creative choices and then just stick with them. Like, you can make a really cool, badass game without flying if, you just decide, this is what we're doing.
Sure.
This is the story we're going for. But if you're just, in, this weird limbo stage, that's whenever it's
sure,
let's have meetings and talk about these things, and I'll see you next week.
Well, I mean, but I think that I honestly can't blame them for not wanting to use the Mass Effect Andromeda engine because I believe this idea in the gaming industry.
It's the same engine. It's just the code.
I'm talking about the engine modified for Mass Effect.
Yeah, the code. Yeah.
But I'm just going to keep calling it the engine. I can understand them not wanting to use that engine because I think that people aren't stupid, developers aren't stupid. You know when a project is going rocky and you know when it's not going to work out the way that the team envisions it. And so I could see the desire to start from scratch rather than use an engine that was producing a subpar game.
Sure.
What they believed was a subpar game. Not actually a subpar game.
Well, and probably marketing wise, you probably don't want your name tied to it. You don't want a marketing disaster in the sense of hey, this is the same engine that Mass Effect Andromeda used.
That was 100% one of the things pointed out by one of the BioWare employees saying we didn't want that to happen.
Yeah.
That is one of the things that they were talking about.
Because that Anthem thing would have been the Anthem E3 the E3 demo would have been a month after Andromeda came out.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so prime time whenever
Andromeda came out in
Andromeda.
March or May 2017. Yeah, and so I could understand. I mean, if you don't have a game developed, you might as well start from scratch, I guess. But yeah, I mean.
So yeah, I could see that too. Why they wouldn't want it for that reason.
Yeah, I it's just sad. It's sad. I think the thing about the story is that none of this stuff is new for BioWare. It just isn't. As much as we want to believe that this is a problem that's exclusive to Anthem, it's not.
Dragon Age Inquisition ran into a lot of these same problems.
I mean, also
so did the Mass Effect franchise.
And there's a reason why pretty much every one of their games, even Anthem, but every one of their games has been delayed at least once, if not more than once. BioWare has always kind of flown by the seat of its pants. And I think the way that they got through it is that even though their projects had problems, they always had really strong management. And to Chris's point, I think that when you have strong management leave and you put someone else in charge of someone else's project and that person may not be the best suited for that job, you're going to run into these issues.
Or they just don't know what the original vision is. That was one of the things the guys at Austin said. It's we don't know what you're making, and the vision that you're trying to get across to us is so vague. We don't even know what to do. And that's the thing. You can't expect to have any sort of creative project without a lead knowing exactly what milestones they want to hit. Then it's just it's floating in the air. We're just floating on clouds, hoping a really solid cloud comes around for all of us to jump on. And when it's there, we do our best before the cloud goes away, and we have to find the next solid cloud to jump on.
Well, and that's the most important thing too. Whenever you're working with multiple teams, you have to be able to convey your
100%.
message between everybody.
100%. And you can't, like you said earlier, you can't keep flipping back and forth, man.
Yeah,
you just can't.
I genuinely think like if you stick with a decision, sure you'll have to change things here and there. And
sure, but the biggest one, are we going to fly or are we not going to fly? We're going to fly. Cool. 6 years of development around flying instead of, flying's not in it. Patrick Sutherland goes, this really sucks. It's like, you're right. We should have put flying in it. Flying's back in. Yeah. Rewrite everything. It's crazy to me. It's fucking crazy.
It also, I think it shows a lack of integrity on the side of BioWare's management to have a game that is in such a state that you basically have to create a separate piece to show off to your boss to keep your game alive. Yeah. Like, honestly, I like Anthem. I think Anthem's great. I think Anthem has problems, but I had fun with it, and I'm going to continue to have fun with it. Same. Hopefully, if they continue to support it.
I logged in 3-4 days ago and had a shit ton of fun until I realized their fucking vanity chest is limited. It's like, God damn it, your decisions are terrible, BioWare.
However, I think the best thing that could have happened to BioWare and that game is it being canceled. And that like, they obviously either needed more time or they needed to move on to something else.
Yeah, we'll see. Because, man, the Austin team is dead set on making this game amazing. They say it every time. Every tweet, every live stream, it's like, we are committed to making this game amazing. And if they do, that's great. 6 months down the line, if we can all log into Anthem and just have a shit ton of fun, customize the way we want to look, blah, blah, all this other stuff. Hey, actually, we have fun at Anthem. Mm-hmm. It's not like it's broken. Right. But it's not like we don't have fun when we're playing this game.
Yeah.
They did, for a 1 year development, they did pretty damn good.
Well, but
true.
That's the thing about that, though, is that, like, you know, not saying that Anthem will never be good and that no one's committed to it. And not that I'm saying that you took it that way. But I think that when you're working on an IP for 7 years and you launch a product that you are basically saying to the public, yeah, it took us 7 years to make this. When the reality is that it took you a year and a half. Mm-hmm. You're being dishonest to your customers and you're being dishonest to your publisher.
Sure.
And I don't think that it's fair to be dishonest to either one of those people because both of those people are paying your fucking bills. And you know,
and that's probably why they were dishonest.
Yeah, right. But
like, otherwise you have a PR nightmare on your hands.
Sure,
it's like, I know we've been kind of working on this for 7 years, but like really, it's only been a year.
Yeah, but now they're trying. Now they have a PR nightmare on their hands, and they're trying to fix a game that's broken.
Yeah,
but then they cancel a game. Now I'm just assuming because the last one was great. It could totally be the case that Dragon Age 4 is gonna suck, and I'm gonna be wrong. Okay, but. I'm sorry, after Dragon Age Inquisition, I don't see how it's possible for a team of people to fuck up a sequel to that game. I think that Dragon Age 4, between Anthem and Dragon Age 4, if you had to choose to cancel one of them, I would have kept working on Dragon Age 4 because I think you're almost guaranteed to make an awesome fucking game because the last one was nearly perfect.
Nearly.
Yeah.
There was flaws. Nearly perfect. But, you know, it was fucking amazing.
Well, we talked about it before Anthem came out, that this was... It felt like it was supposed to be a replacement to Destiny, you know? So maybe that's why they were like, Destiny's kind of failing right now. Let's
actually another one of the BioWare, most of the BioWare employees were told specifically to not reference Destiny in the development of Anthem because it was not Destiny. We did not want to talk about we were told not to talk about Destiny and bring it up in meetings. And even though Destiny is the fucking game that hit every fucking roadblock it could possibly hit, fucked up at every single turn they could fuck up in, and you can learn from that game. Mm-hmm. But they decided not to.
And we need to close this up. So any final thoughts from anyone?
No.
You both should just get Division.
I'm going to.
Because it's fucking great.
The main reason why I haven't gotten Division is because rent was coming up.
Sure.
And I haven't been working 100%. Much,
money, of course, life and money, that comes first, 100%. Right. Mm-hmm. But if you can get Division, you should 100% get Division because that game is ridiculously good. And the next update tomorrow, there's actual gear sets coming out. There's 3 different gear sets. There's a new world tier. There's new exotics. There's new weapons. There's new... it's just dumb. I've just felt like I was getting not bored, but to the point where I was like, okay, number one, I need to start playing with people because I've hit a point where I can't do a lot of the things that I want to do. I need people to play with. Mm-hmm. So I started getting to the point where I was like that frustration point. I started getting there, and then out of nowhere, it's like, here's new content. It's like, well, yeah, never mind. I'm not frustrated because you're just gonna drop fucking content on me every fucking 4 weeks. Like, just
right. See, and
bring it on, man.
But that's the great thing. It's not out of nowhere. Here's this great.
Sure,
year.
You're right.
Here's this roadmap that they talked about from day one,
and they're doing a really good trickle because episode 1, which is that first episode, it's being trickled across 2 months, April 5th, April 23rd, or something like that, and then May something, the machine gun specialization comes out, which I was right, by the way. It's a machine gun as a new specialization.
I mean, that seems like the easiest place to start when making a new specialization.
100%.
It's okay to learn from other games' mistakes.
100%.
You as a gaming company, if you're listening to this, don't have to make the same mistakes that everyone else has made.
Division,
in order to learn from them.
Massive is the perfect example of it. Division 1 came out and it was hot mess. And they learned from Diablo, and they learned from Destiny, and they made Division 1, patch 1.8, changed Division. Division 2 comes out, improved on everything 1.8 had, and more. Yep. Massive's a perfect example of this.
We've been doing this show for me, it's been like 200, almost 200 episodes. For Chris, it's been almost 200 episodes. I'm tired of doing the end of the show shit. And I put it in the description every single week. So rather than sit here and list something from memory for the next 16 minutes, can I just say at the end of the show, look at the show description for all of our links to all of our shit or something better than that?
Sure.
Because I'm sick of reading it out.
No, you got to read it out.
I don't want to read it out.
Too bad. Do it. Rich got you a Dr. Pepper shake.
What does that have to do with Rich?
Yeah, throw Rich in there. Hey,
guys,
go ahead and follow at Rich Needs Res.
Yeah, there we go. Shout out to Rich.
Shout out to Rich, sponsor of this episode.
Look, if you want to see our personal links, the links to the show's social media, and the links to where you can get our theme song at, check the description. It's on YouTube. It is on our podcast page. So go there, and there's even links. You can just click the links and go straight to my Twitter or Chris's Twitter or Justin's Twitter or the podcast Twitter. You don't have to sit here and write it down or type it on your phone really fast. Yes, you just click the link in the description.
That seemed just as long as the other way.
No, it's fine.
I'm just kidding. It was great. No,
if you follow me, get ready for fucking wrestling tweets because it is WrestleMania weekend, baby.
Okay, guys, we're playing D&D now. We gotta go. Bye.
Goodbye.
People's elbow.
He's not even part of wrestling anymore.